Here Northwestern State head coach Chris Bertrand, the Demons at home as part of a very busy week. And coach, if you look at the schedule, it looks like the Demons are applying for membership to the Sun Belt Conference this week. But 5 good tests for your team starting tomorrow night at home against ULM.
No doubt, man, no doubt. And listen, we set out to challenge ourselves whenever we put it together. We understand what is before us. We've said multiple times that, look, man, our team welcomes the challenge. Our team welcomes the competition, and 3 amazing opponents and 5 games in which, again, we get to continue to kind of test ourselves, and not only test ourselves, but we get a chance to see if the work that we're putting in, if the improvements that we're making, if the learning that we're trying to accomplish is all worth it. And we know that it is, but it's a way of us being able to physically test it, man.
Sunbelt Sunbelt opponents, but the first two, ULM and the Raging Cajuns, in-state opponents. And again, this team has a lot of Louisiana kids that probably know a lot of guys on those teams. So these 2 games, even though they're quote-unquote midweek games, they have a personal feeling toward them too.
No doubt. And listen, every time that we lace them up and put demons across our chest and the umpire says play ball, every one of these opportunities is a great one. And the fact that you get to do it against quality men and you get to do it against a quality opponent and you get to test yourselves from a baseball standpoint, absolutely, man. Listen, the amount of respect that we have for Fed and the job that he has done, and we know he's going to bring a competitive ball club in here tomorrow night, and we get a chance to get back out on the bistro or in the bistro in front of our fans, man. What a tremendous opportunity all around for everybody. And then, going to Lafayette on Wednesday, I mean, obviously, I think their reputation speaks for itself and the type of ball club that Coach Deggs has, but not only the type of baseball team, Jay, but the idea that we get to test ourselves against that style of baseball. We know that they're going to be really disciplined with their approach at the plate. We know that they can bunt for a hit at any time. They have some power. They have some hitters. They have a tremendous base running in the way they steal bases or whatever. And so you get to test yourselves as a pitching staff in holding runners. You get to test yourselves in a defensive way that maybe we haven't had to do a whole bunch in our ball games yet, right? So like the style and the brand of baseball that they bring allows us to test ourselves in a multitude of ways. And then obviously the offense and the ball club that Skylar is going to bring into the bistro this weekend, another tremendous test. And so, man, again, we're looking forward to it. We know the challenge. We know how difficult it's going to be, but we're looking forward to it because it means so much to us to be able to test ourselves and test ourselves in a multitude of ways and get those battle scars that are going to help us as the season rolls along.
Looking back at last weekend, Bo Willis for the first 7 games, we talked a little bit about it after Thursday night's game. He has been incredibly consistent, 7-game hitting streak, 7-game RBI streak. He's been unbelievable. It may not last all year. You certainly hope it does. If he drives in a run 56 straight games, you'll take it. But, some of the guys that kind of found their footing in that first weekend, Balin Valentine comes to mind, getting a little bit more comfortable at this level because, yes, it's still baseball, but there is a comfort factor that comes with getting reps at a certain level.
There's no doubt. And listen, I mean, you mentioned those 2 guys, and specifically Bo, if we start there, absolutely proud of the start that he's out to. But listen, more than just a baseball standpoint, what a tremendous model he is in the way that the season has started to all of our guys. Because when you talk about overcoming adversity, when you talk about putting in the necessary work and the work ethic, when you talk about learning lessons and using your experience, the veteran leadership that he provides, the things that Bo Willis is, aside from just being a good hitter, look at what that means to our ball club. And so happy for him, but even more proud of what it does for our baseball team besides just the stat sheet. Bo has earned it, and Bo deserves it. And what a tremendous lesson for our ball club. Balin in the same way. Balin's a great testament to how many new players we have. When you look at it on a 40-man roster, we've probably got only about 3 guys when you talk about Bo and Chase and Dawson Flowers, right? I mean, when you talk about all of those players, even our returners, they're doing a lot of it the first time, right? And so for all the newcomers, for all of the guys that are stepping into huge roles as everyday guys or as reliable guys that we want to count upon, they're doing it for the first time. And to see a guy like Balin have some success, it sets a blueprint. It shows a blueprint in how we want to go about it. It also proves at how close we are to turning the corner. We have everything we need to be a great and competitive ball club. We just need to execute a little better. And when you see guys who do execute on the baseball field physically better, it provides blueprint, it provides hope, it provides a status or a model, so to speak, that we can all reach for. And once we achieve it as a group, man, special things can happen.
Same thing on the mound. You got guys like Caleb Bunch gave you 3 really good innings at the back end of the Stony Brook game. Dawson Flowers, in a different role, gave you 14 pivotal outs and your first win. Congratulations again on
Thank
that,
you.
by the way.
Thank you.
But I mean, those guys, you know, not everyone had a good first weekend on the mound, and a lot of guys took steps forward there. Again, very similar to the Balin Valentines and even some of the guys doing something for a first time or the first time in 2 years.
Yeah, process-oriented blueprints is what it does, man. We talked to the team, all of those guys you mentioned and the way in which you mentioned it, and I know pitching specific in this case, one of the things we're proud of is that when you're able to look past just the results and you have perspective, right? Listen, nobody wants to win baseball games more than Bert or more than the Demons, and we know what we have to do to put ourselves in the win column more than what we have. But when you're process-oriented and you're able to have perspective past just the results, we talked to the pitching staff about what a tremendous job they did in throwing strikes, more strikes, right, and competing in the strike zone from week number 1 to week number 2. Now, how do we take our game to the level going into week 3 or another level going into week 3? And the answer is now in better pitch execution. And so the challenge after week 1 was strikes. Check. Now, what do? The challenge is now is really making effective quality pitches. Executing pitch execution to a higher level now takes the game to a higher level. And so again, it's the blueprint. It's those guys, yes, having success, and it means the world to us. But their individual success provides a blueprint and a lesson for the team in how we can continue to stack bricks and how we can continue to mold championship habits. And that's why it's so cool that those guys provide that for us more than just physical.
Coach, as always, thanks for your time.
Farkham Demons, man, you're awesome.